I really appreciate you two taking some time just to do this. It should only take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But I've just started this new thing where I just wanted to have my future brides hear from my past brides. Because I'm a little biased. So I'm like, if I'm trying to convince someone to hire me, I mean, obviously I do that kind of, but I think it's better if they hear about really like what your experience was like working with us. So really, really appreciate you guys doing this for us. Yeah, so really I'm just gonna ask you guys some questions. Um, and they're just simple and you can just both answer. You can each like take your own turn to answer or whatever you want to do. So yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it so that we're not on the call too late. So yeah, because I know you're in busy school season because
Mhm.
Amanda's like texting me like, oh my gosh, it's been so hectic. So
I was like, I'm sorry for the delay. It's been kind of hectic.
fine. I mean, just the fact that you two are willing to do this like is really helpful to me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So okay, first question. How did you two first find us?
So I was still at Liberty,
Yep.
and I went to the Bridal Expo, and you guys had a table set up there, and I met like one or two other photography like groups or people, but I remember walking away thinking like, wow, they were so friendly. I feel like they're people I could just hang out with, right? Um, And we originally weren't planning on having the wedding in Tennessee, so I didn't really give it a second thought until we changed our location. And then I was like, oh yeah, there was that couple from the expo, and I showed him your Instagram. And we both really loved the style of photography, like the light and bright was exactly what we wanted. And you guys were so friendly, and it made everything feel super natural. So we were excited to have you guys capture our wedding. Yes.
Yes, and I remember you reached out to me like a couple months after the expo. Was it the next? Was it earlier this year? Was it no, it was probably end of last year. You reached out to me several months after the expo and were like, "Hey, like," because I had talked to you at the expo about grabbing coffee because you told me about you were going to move to Nashville
Mhm.
eventually. So I was like, "We should grab coffee when you come because that'd be fun." And then we actually did, and we
Mhm.
did that again too. That was fun. Yeah. So, and that's why like I like that we like to like treat our couples as like friends. Like you become a friend too. And so like and we actually want to do like a Tennessee get together with our Tennessee couples at some point. Almost like a, either like we have people over to like our apartment or like I don't know where. It's just like it's just been a crazy season. But at some point we want to have like a get together where maybe like everyone brings like a fun like dish to share or something like that. And then you all get to like meet each other, which would be kind of fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know, since we're all the Nashville area because we're starting to do more Nashville couples other than, because we do both Virginia and Tennessee. So
Mhm. Right.
get-togethers here now that we're doing more weddings here, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then what initially drew you both to working with us?
I mean, for me, it was definitely like how friendly you guys were and how much I felt like we would click because I'm not used to being behind the camera or getting pictures taken, and you're not really used to that either. So having people that we were comfortable with was a huge factor. And also looking at your guys' work and being like, because a lot of photographers, I feel like there's like almost like a moody dynamic to it, or it's darker,
Mhm.
or whatever. And we having a summer wedding, the light and bright was really important. So
Right.
that those were kind of the two main drawing factors were you guys as people and then the kind of photography that you guys do.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I like that. And especially Nashville. Nashville has like this trendy, like dark and moody orangey look to all the photos.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm like, different, but yes. And Curtis, feel free to chime in if you want to say anything at any point. Don't feel like I have to all be Amanda. I don't know if I just cut you off or something, but hopefully not. But cool, cool. And then what made you guys trust us with your wedding day memories?
Who do you want me to keep? I think it was just touching back to what she said. It was the fact that from the beginning, from the very first meeting we had, it just felt like a conversation with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt so natural, and that you guys were so like you guys are the professionals, and so you obviously know how to guide us. But when we were like, well, we kind of want to do something in this direction, okay, totally, absolutely, this is your day.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that you guys were able to be so flexible, even though you're the professionals and know what you're doing, and treat people like friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And definitely in the engagement session too, I think that really like sealed it even more, which is kind of what you were saying of like that line between like you were guiding us, but we still were able to just have fun and be us. And
Yes.
that was really important because we want pictures to look natural, right? We want them to be
Mhm.
authentic, but also we don't really know what we're doing. So having that balance was really, really nice.
Well, you would have never known that you didn't know what you were doing at the engagement session for the pictures, right? I mean, and part of it is just like we just want to guide you to just have fun doing it. So yes, we're gonna put you in some poses, but I'm always gonna be joking, telling you to move around doing different things. That way, like as you're moving, you're like, we're getting cute photos as you're doing things. That way you're never just like stiff and awkward looking.
Right.
Yeah, cool, cool. And then what's one thing that made us different from other companies that you've noticed?
I mean, kind of going back to the style is definitely one thing. Saw a lot of that like moody dynamic.
Hmm.
And it definitely, right from the beginning at the expo, it felt way more personal than any other table I went to, really for any other vendor. Like I walked away from that being like, wow, I could actually hang out with those people. Um, and also just the communication, because I feel like everything was really clear and I never really had questions throughout, like, oh, what's that going to look like? Other than when we were figuring out our timeline and stuff,
Right. Well,
obviously.
that, I mean, there has to be questions right there.
Right, there has to be.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the process itself, it was like I was never really unsure what was happening next because you guys were always communicating and we were doing the meetings of like check-ins even before we decided to officially hire you guys because we were trying to figure out the date and all that stuff.
Right.
We
That.
knew we wanted to work with you and like the continual calls just to touch base so
Yeah.
that when we did officially like pick the date and you guys were able to work it, then it was really, really smooth. And yeah, that was really appreciated.
I feel like the intentionality you guys have is unmatched for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Good answer. I like it.
Good answer.
Cool. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. I'm like, it's fun being able to hear what you guys truly thought because like, there's a lot of things that, we do behind the scenes and just hearing that, like just how much you think that it was a really good experience is like it means a lot to us. And then what made you ultimately book us for your wedding photography experience?
I mean, that communication, that intentionality, just like kind of all the factors we've already talked about, watching all of that line up.
Yeah,
And also like knowing that you guys were Christians, that was also important to us,
right.
just
Remember
as
that. Hmm.
people, because like having those same values was also a really big connecting point of um, having someone photograph like a faith-filled wedding who's also faith-filled.
Hmm.
Um, definitely impacts how the pictures are going to be viewed versus like, oh, it's curated moments for like the day versus like showing the love and the appreciation of like going into the marriage are
Hmm.
two very different things. And I think having photographers who had the same like Christian values as us was also a big factor along with everything else that we've talked
Yeah.
about.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Cool, cool. It's so funny. You kind of answered my next question already, like in previous questions, which is fine. So we don't really, I'll just say what it was. It was basically like, how did you feel about the communication throughout, the whole
Mhm.
process? But it sounds like you kind of already answered that. So I don't want you to rehash it. So I'm gonna keep going. I just thought I'd mention it, but we'll keep going. And then how did you feel about your engagement session experience with us?
Oh, it was amazing.
It was so fun.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I mean, and then giving us guidelines for kind of how to dress, but not like you have to wear exactly this, but like kind of the color scheme of to make it light and bright, especially since our engagement session was in the fall. That was really fun. And the National Parthenon, you guys picked that place, and it was really fun because then we got the naturey pictures, and
Mhm.
we were actually talking about it after getting our wedding album of like the columns in the church and then the columns in the Parthenon, how that kind of lined
Yeah.
up, and we thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I feel like it felt very natural. Like I remember us getting in the car and being like, "Wow, that was fun," and getting the pictures and like
Yeah.
it being so genuine of like it didn't look staged at all, which is exactly what you want. And not that it was, but it's like having
Like half and half.
just having fun and like seeing the fun through the pictures, but them also being like really good curated pictures.
Right.
It was really good and really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad. Cool. That's great. And then how'd you feel about your wedding day experience with us?
I mean, we couldn't be happier. I mean, there was so much coverage there that
Mm,
you guys were able to capture absolutely everything.
wow. Yay.
It was, they say that your wedding day is a blur, and you don't really believe how true that is until like you have the amount of pictures that you guys were able to capture, and then you go back through. When did that even
I know.
happen? Like,
Love
when did
that.
this moment? And so to capture the essence of our faith-filled marriage and the love that everybody had there and the presence of the Lord there was something super special.
Um,
Awesome.
and having such a variety of pictures too. Like it's not, you know, having like, oh, one bridal portrait where she's
Right.
just in this pose, but in different places. And like a lot of the pictures, like with him and the groomsmen, are so fun and so very accurate to the friendships that are there. And like looking through the pictures of me with the bridesmaids and laughing and like friends that I've had since forever.
Yeah.
And then the pictures of us and just in all the moments is so fun to
Mm.
see and look back on. And I was scrolling through it again the other day. Just like, wow, all that stuff happened. And it was just the best day. And it really does go by so fast. Like within 2 weeks after our wedding, we were like, wait, did that happen? Wait. Because it really is such a blur because you're trying to take everything in and live in the moment at the same time.
Right.
And having so many pictures was so important to us of like, being able to look through all the moments and almost like relive it in time from all the things.
Amazing. I love that. I just thought this actually is not my list of questions, but I thought of it. It's a question for Curtis. Um, how did you feel about your experience working with Daniel and the guys, like all together?
Oh, Daniel immediately just felt like he was one of the guys in the group. He immediately came in and he was joking around with us like he'd been part of the group forever. He was super easy to talk to, and he kind of what we talked about of how there was direction, but you were able to capture the relationship within the friend group that was already there.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there was direction of how to pose and whatnot, it just you can see through the pictures that it's just how the relationship I have with those guys actually are.
Mm.
Um, and I'm super happy with it.
Awesome. I thought this was a fun question. I'm sorry he's not here. He's writing one of his songs. I'm trying to have to balance his time because um you guys know that like he also like does like has a music business too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so like we always want to make sure that he's here for like the initial like consultation with us type of, like so like he's I know but then he's not always here for all the other meetings. Sometimes he pops in at the end and says hi or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so that's why he's not here right now and or he's normally with Tyler trying to keep Tyler happy, right? Which Tyler fell asleep early tonight, so which is a good thing, but also not a good thing because he might wake up too soon and then
Yeah.
too early. So now I'm gonna be like, oh, he's gonna wake up at 8:30, which is his bedtime, and then want to be up for 2 hours and be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, children are funny. They do funny things sometimes. Anyways, but yeah, but thanks. I thought that was a fun question. And then how did you feel about your gallery reveal experience? Like when I was like scrolling through and showing you all the photos. Did you like that or did you not like that? That's scary to ask.
It was fun because it was like we got to see all those moments in a row and really just sit and take it in. Because I feel like if we had just gotten it, kind of like with the engagement session, I was like, "Ooh, that picture and that picture," and I was like bouncing around. But I had
Okay.
time to just look through and be like, "Wow, that's everything," and like you're not missing a single picture, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was really fun. So that now, like, planning on downloading them really soon because hectic, crazy schedule right now.
Right, yeah, no.
And going through it again and getting to really look at them and be like, oh yeah, I saw that one. Oh, I really, really loved this one when we looked at it the first time and like looking at it as a whole instead of just individual pictures as we scrolled through was really fun.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. That makes me think that I should keep doing it that way. A lot of photographers, that's another thing that I've noticed about how we're different is that like a lot of photographers just send a gallery link. And I've started doing this gallery reveal thing and I was considering like should I keep doing it? I don't know. But I've been getting good feedback on it. So I guess for now I might keep doing it because I think
I
people
would
like it.
definitely say keep it going.
Yeah, I would say
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for
Cool,
sure.
cool. And then would you say that your experience was worth the investment?
Oh my
yes,
gosh, yes.
100%.
Yeah,
Cool.
100.
Awesome. Cool,
It
cool.
was again in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Again in heartbeat. That's good. Heartbeat.
Yeah.
That's great. And then do you have a favorite photograph from your wedding day? And you can like each like if you each have one or something, or if it might be hard, pick a favorite photo. I don't know.
Let me see.
Or if one pops into
You're
you know.
you're on my phone, so I'm
Very good. And if
thinking.
you can't pick an exact favorite, it's fine. Just sometimes, I've had people be like, oh, like this one was just I like this for this reason. So
Yeah, I don't know if because I haven't looked through it as much again as I should have, so I don't know if I have a favorite of both of us yet because there are so many.
I know.
But there was a picture of me like in the ceremony space that
Mhm.
we did right after the first look with my dad.
Right.
And that one is, I think, my favorite of me because
Yes.
it's just, I don't know, it feels like it really captures the moment of like my genuine smile because I was just so thrilled that day. I would not stop smiling. And also like just the way my train was positioned and you having me do that little swirl and everything, it just felt
Mhm.
like a very perfect picture of me.
Yes.
But
I think was it the one where like, so either you were smiling at the camera or you were looking at your photos or laughing somewhere. I don't remember. I'd have to go look at the photos like, I probably had you do several of those things, but
yeah,
like it was probably the one where like, it was almost like the church was like pointing to you. Like, is that the one you were like, it was like where we were taking the photos with you and your parents, right? It was like in
yeah.
that
So I
spot.
was standing like right at the end of
Yeah.
the runner, like right where people looked in. So then the church is all behind me, and I was smiling at the camera, holding my bouquet.
Yes, I love that spot. I'm almost glad it started raining, like outside, because
Yeah.
that's why, because we were gonna do all the photos with like you and your parents outside, like on the porch, but then it was like rainy, and we didn't want to get you too wet beforehand, so we
Mm-hmm.
brought you inside. So I'm actually really glad we got to use that spot, um, because like the composition of the rows of like the aisles, like I think
Mm-hmm.
made that photo like other than you being like a queen and everything, like the composition helped to like really draw that attention to you, which I think that was cool. So yeah. And then Curtis, did you have a favorite photo or you're like, I don't know, it's too many?
Well, I'll give one more heartfelt answer because the one that came in my head was kind of a funny answer. But when it
Fine.
comes to both of us, my favorite one is the one you captured when I see her walk down the aisle. Because
Mm,
I was bawling my eyes when she started walking.
yeah.
You guys captured that, and that was cool.
Ah, yes, I definitely yes. And then during the reception too, that the father-daughter dance. I was like,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that was so sweet. Yes. Wait, I gotta ask, is the funny photo the one where you were laying dead on the floor, except you
Yes. Yeah.
when okay,
Yeah.
you gotta tell us what happened there. Tell us what happened.
Well, we discovered that there was a staircase going up to that upper level balcony, and so we were all up there just joking around, hanging out. And Daniel was like, "Oh wait, this is actually a great setting for a picture, so stay up there." So then we did a round of pictures up there, and then we were joking about jumping off or falling off. And then Daniel suggested I actually go down there and lay on the floor, make it look like I fell. He even directed me a little bit what position to lay in, and then all the guys were like, "Whoa!" And made it look
Yeah.
like falling. It was great. It was a great moment. It was one of those moments where that's how Daniel just felt like he fit right in immediately.
Yeah.
Was he had our level of humor.
He thinks of things as a dude I would never think about. And that's why.
Like the groom falling
I
off the
wouldn't have
balcony.
thought
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have been like, I don't want you to die on your wedding day. And Daniel's like, no, let's like throw you off or something crazy. Yes, and that's one reason, like, I always try to tell our couples, like, the husband wife team aspect of what we do is it's so much extra. Like it's
yeah.
like
That's
the ideas you get from Daniel are gonna be totally different from my ideas. And so it's the guys, it's like so fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I remember Daniel coming up to me, he's like, look what we did, look what happened. And I was like, it's hilarious. I was like, okay. I hope they still like us. Anyways.
No, great.
Oh, it was amazing.
I
Oh,
just really loved the family photos at the front of the church that we
mm,
got with all of our family members because
mhm,
everyone who was able to travel, it was so special to get those pictures.
Mhm.
mhm.
Us in the garden. There are just so many like great moments that it's hard to pick just one. I was just specifically looking at that one picture of me the other day, like you were with the one with you laying on the ground.
Yeah, right. That's funny. That's awesome. That's so fun. And so after all that, not after all that, but speaking of all that fun, what was your favorite part about working with us?
That's a hard one. It's hard to pick just
You
one
take
favorite
turns.
thing.
No worries.
And I feel like I've kind of said this already, but how natural and how easy it felt. Like
Mhm.
everything flowed super well and like everything felt super consistent where like there wasn't any surprises. You guys went through things right off the bat exactly so that we knew everything we were getting into and exactly what the package we chose like offered. You were super flexible with timing for us where like we figured out hours with our venue so that you could work with that. That was super helpful. And just like you guys taking our pictures both in the engagement and wedding, like it felt so incredibly natural where it was like almost like forgetting that you guys are there because it doesn't feel like it's taking away from the moment.
Yeah.
Like I don't look back on that day and be like, oh, we were posing for this picture and this picture, but it's like we got those moments captured instead of like curating moments for a picture. It was like the natural flow of everything was captured as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt so easy to get our pictures taken by you guys because you made us feel so comfortable right off the bat. And
Okay.
I think that was just my favorite part because it's like, we one of our biggest priorities when it came to the wedding was the pictures. Because that's
Mhm.
that's what you have to look back on
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
um, everybody like still has their favorite wedding photos, decades into the future.
Right. Yep.
And so that was like the most important thing that we were super prioritizing. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't change a thing.
I think photographers, they were the first wedding decision we made
Yeah.
because
We
we were like, it's the most important thing to us. Like venue,
Yeah.
it's
I
we'll end
remember
up where
too.
we end up.
right.
Color scheme, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But the pictures need to be the best. And so that was the first thing we decided on.
Hmm.
That's
That
amazing.
was actually solidified for our wedding plan because
Yeah.
it was the most important thing
I
to us.
remember being so excited when we solidified it too. We're like, we have the first thing
Yeah.
planned. Daniel and
Yay.
Jennifer are like
Yeah.
taking pictures for our wedding.
Wait, so did you no, because I remember okay, yeah, because that's so interesting because like I mean I'm trying to find the balance still of like, okay, because like you had so this is actually cool. This is actually really helpful because I think that it's true, brides can pick the photographer they want before they have, they pick the venue and date technically. Um, but then I guess the tricky thing is like making sure the photographer's still available when you actually
Mhm.
get the venue and the date secured type of thing.
Right.
And I just remember that we were like always back and forth with communication a lot. Because I
Mhm.
remember, yeah, you were trying to figure out which venue and which date you were trying to do. Um, and yeah, because I'm like right now, like, because I have several brides right now I'm talking to who are still trying to solidify their venue and their date type of thing. And so, trying to find the balance between like, okay, like having them secure me as soon as possible, but also like they gotta find their place. It's like it's
Yeah.
still a tricky balance, but I like the point you make that you two like it's like you had your heart set on us
Mhm.
before you had those other things figured out.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool that you guys like had chosen us before everything else was met. Basically, that makes me feel special and thank you.
Yeah. I mean that just to me is a nod to the intentionality and flexibility that
Mhm.
you guys had.
Hmm.
Being the first thing with our wedding that we picked, we had nothing else decided. And there, like you said, there was a lot of back and forth between us because we thought we had decisions made, but then dates changed or times changed or
Right.
locations changed. And you guys were always right there. And whether it was emails or text or meetings over Zoom, like however often it needed to be to get all those details ironed out,
Mhm.
it was that was one of the things that stuck out the most. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were really going back and forth with venue for a while just between
Yeah.
cost and like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're like, we're gonna get married somewhere. Like we knew that. But it was hard figuring that out because we had the budget and we were intentional on sticking with it.
Mhm.
Um, but so everything else we were kind of able to work around and figure out, but we were like, no matter what, these are our photographers. So we kept like sending you, like there was one date that we had in mind and you guys were like, oh, we're booked for that one date. And we're like, okay,
Right.
let's see what other dates. And then the venue that we ended up getting married at had what ended up being our wedding date. And y'all were like, yep, we're free. And we were like, okay, booking that now then.
That's such a good point. I like what you did there because it's almost like you can find the photographer that you really love and want to work with, and then you can keep working with them like until you find a date that works for the venue and the photographer. Like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people, a lot of brides pick their date, which okay, like sometimes you just like scheduling a wedding is hard with like families and like trying to like figure out when everyone can attend. I mean, Daniel and I, we had a hard time with this when we planned our wedding. Like it was so hard to like find a wedding date. And ultimately we just had to, go down to what worked best for us technically. We did not do what you guys did and pick a date based upon our photographer's availability. We were not very smart when we got married. Let's just put it that way. It was 10 bajillion years ago. Not really. Okay, we're not that old. Whatever. It was only 4 years ago, whatever. But yeah, but I like that, like as a bride, you can find the photographer that you want to work with, then find the venue, and then kind of go back and forth on dates until it all matches up. Like I think that's a really good point. And I like that you mentioned that. So thanks for mentioning that. Um, and then what was your favorite moment from your wedding day as you're looking back on it?
Everything flew by. So
Yeah.
trying to think about the specific moments.
Yeah. Mhm.
I really loved our first dance.
Mm.
Yeah.
That felt really special because we had like with the fake wisteria
Yeah.
in the center and the lights, it felt very magical. And it was like one of the only moments where it's just us in that moment.
Right.
Everybody was staring at us, but like we were just kind of whispering to each other and dancing and
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go back to you walking down the aisle
Mhm.
because I have just horrendous stage fright. I hate being in front of people. I was a nervous wreck, not because we were getting married, but
Uh-huh.
because I was gonna have to stand in front of 100 people.
Right.
I was a nervous wreck all day,
and we
Yeah.
got the people.
all day. My groomsmen, they were like going to get me water or an energy drink, or they were like reading me things to like distract my mind, and it was not working. I was just a nervous wreck. And then when the coordinator came up and said, "Okay, it's go time, get to your staging area," I was, oh my gosh, I'm pacing in circles as everything's. And then our cue came, and I went to the stage, and when those doors came open and she started walking down, it was like the noise just went quiet. It was like there was nothing else and no one else in that room other than her.
Oh, wow. Mm.
Just everything else went quiet, and that's the only thing I focused on.
And then he made the maid of honor cry.
I made multiple.
He made a lot of people cry. Apparently, he
Yeah.
whispered, "She's perfect," and that set everybody into tears.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I feel like I remember that. I feel like I might remember that. I mean, I was kind of right up there, so I kind of remember a little bit. Wow. Yeah.
I was
And
also
yeah,
Yeah,
crying.
when I got up there.
intense moment. It's intense.
It's an
Like,
intense one. Yeah.
I mean, Daniel was a blubbery mess when I walked down the aisle. Yeah, I said my goal is to make you like cry really badly, and I was walking down. I was fine. I was like smiling and happy, and he was just like a mess. And I was like, I did it.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
Yep.
So
I tears wouldn't have happened if I wanted to because I was smiling so big. I'm not a happy cry person. Like
right.
if I'm really happy, I'm just my cheeks hurt because I'm smiling so big. I don't really tear up with happy things.
Yeah.
So I was just like huge smile and he's up there like
Bawling my
Yeah.
eyes out.
So-
I was like
I'd never happy cried in my life until that moment.
wow. I love it when grooms cry. That sounds it's like sounds mean, but also it's like so
Yeah,
fun.
I love it
Like
when
a
they cry.
happy cry.
I know. That's fun. I love
That's
that.
cool.
That's so sweet. And then what would you tell to other couples who are considering booking us?
Do
Yeah.
it.
Love
Not a
it.
faster response. There's no package that you guys offer that anybody looking into you would regret.
Hmm.
Mm,
With You're getting so much more than just wedding photographers when
Hmm.
people book you guys. You're getting, like we said, you're getting intentionality, you're getting flexibility, you're getting friendship, honestly.
yeah.
It was like just a moment ago, you touched back to how you guys got coffee. You said, "Oh, we should do
Mhm.
that again sometime."
Yeah.
I don't know how many wedding photographers after this long after the wedding be like, "Yeah, we actually should get coffee again."
2 months later.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no, I just and that's why I believe in not doing a bajillion like too many weddings because
yeah,
Mhm.
like again like I mean you guys know I think maybe that we only try to do about 12 15 weddings a year
hmm,
because we do more than that I can't have a personal relationship with all my clients and that's what I love like I could like people sometimes ask me like why don't you build like an associate team and you send like associates out and you book like a lot more weddings da 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 and I'm just like no like first of all it stressed me out to think that someone else is going to go shoot my bride's wedding like I
yeah,
would feel like I'd only send an associate if I was like deathly ill and could not shoot it. You know what I mean? Like I'd make sure they're taken care of. But
Yeah.
I just feel so strongly about that, like God wants Daniel me at your wedding. Like, because you
Mhm.
trusted us to do it. And so that's what I want to do. And then if something crazy happens to Daniel me, like we're gonna find two other good photographers to take care of you. Um, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, was that I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, friend. You're talking about like friends, like just like yeah, having a relationship with your photographers, and like might even have you babysit Tyler at some point. I mean, like,
Right.
'cause
You
remember,
mentioned that when we got coffee. I was
yeah,
like, I'm so down.
yeah.
I was joking. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have you babysit him on your wedding day, but like,
Maybe not that one day,
it
but
was
now I'm free.
yeah, no, and that I'll tell you, it was so funny. The weekend of your wedding. So we had a wedding. Your wedding was on Saturday, and then we had another wedding on Sunday the next day. That was our first double wedding weekend.
Oh wow.
Which I was like, oh my gosh, how's this ever gonna work? So I think I spent like half a week preparing for just that weekend because of just like having to like get home, back up your wedding, making sure it's safe, recharging on my camera batteries, like making sure I had space for the next wedding, like everything and then making sure Tyler's taken care of. So we actually had Daniel's parents come to town to babysit Tyler for us for that whole weekend.
Oh,
They like stayed with us to help us out because I was just like a double wedding weekend. Like I normally don't do that. It was like I think we have another double wedding weekend next year. Normally I only like to book like one wedding on a weekend because I'm just like I want to be totally like really devoted to that one couple on the weekend. But I guess it happens randomly that we have a double.
mhm.
But I don't know where I was going with that. I truly have no idea what's going with that. Anyway, um, but yeah, but thanks for telling that. Do it. I love it when people are just like, just do it. Cool. Okay. Moving on. I'm talking too much now. But is there anything else that you'd like to say about your experience working with us?
And I guess kind of with the double wedding thing, like we wouldn't like we had no idea
Right.
because you were so focused and like in it on our day that like you
Yeah.
never would have known. And like even our engagement session, like you were pregnant.
I was
Like you were
pregnant.
Yeah,
you didn't have Tyler too long
Yeah,
after that, I
that's
don't
true.
think.
Gosh, what month
It
was
was
the engagement
it was
session?
in November.
November. Okay, so then I was probably, yeah, honestly, I think maybe we shot one wedding in November. Like, I think it was a Virginia wedding. Oh, yeah, I think it was. I think we shot like my last wedding while being pregnant at around like, I think it was like 32 weeks. And I'm just such a tiny person that like carrying around a child, that was an adventure. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, but the engagement session was fine though, because it was only like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I don't remember,
yeah.
somewhere around
But
there. And
it
so
was still like that intentionality in those moments of like,
Dedication.
yeah, dedication for sure.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, it's fun. I kind of forget I'm pregnant sometimes when I'm shooting. I don't know about a wedding day because wedding days are like 8 hours of being pregnant. I think we did a 10-hour one too. Can get kind of intense.
Oof.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I
But
can't.
I kept telling myself labor's gonna be harder. You're fine. Like, don't worry about it. That's what I told myself.
Oh my God.
I'm glad I prepared myself for January because January, that was the crazy adventure of our lives. Like, oh my gosh. I'll
Oh,
tell you about it. We're not talking about on Zoom call.
okay. But we meet up for coffee.
But we
We
meet up
can
for
hear all
coffee if you
about
want to hear
it.
more. We actually have a birth story that's actually it's on my YouTube channel, but it's actually in three parts. I've only edited the first part. It's just like us talking about everything we went through. And it's like it was like a 2 month journey of craziness. But so if you want to hear the in-depth version, I can send you a link. I'll send you a link if you
Yeah.
want to listen, if you're all interested. But yeah, anyways, yes. I just felt that we wanted to share our birth story because we felt like God did a lot of things in us, like in our hearts through it. And so
Mhm.
even though it hasn't got a lot of views or anything crazy, we just thought, well, if people want to listen, they can listen. If not, they don't have to. Um, yeah, and then I'm gonna ask you guys one more question. This is a question that I've started asking. It's kind of a scary question for me. It's kind of like a constructive criticism question. But we'll just see if you have anything to say. And if you can't think of anything, that's fine too. So it's basically what is one thing that we as a company could do to improve our experience with future couples?
I
I was like, I'm gonna think really hard and
I
think.
know I'm gonna think really hard to see if I can come up with
I
anything.
You're a teacher. You're like, I gotta find
I
something.
know. That's part of my job. I'm like, here's how you can improve. But I do that with
I
fourth graders, not grown adults.
can.
I know.
They went out of their way so many times when we were so back and forth with dates and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's true. I remember that.
And nothing communication wise I would change.
Mhm.
Like I never felt like I was behind on information. Everything with like payment and everything was super clear. Um, and very like upfront. Like when we had that first call going through the
Yeah.
pricing of the different packages and then being like based on how we answered the questions of here's what you would recommend and like
Yeah.
it was very evidently not like I'm gonna try to get you to pay the highest package because and that was also
Yeah.
valuable to us.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Mhm.
yeah. Um I really
Yeah,
can't
I
think of
genuinely
anything
can't.
like
I don't think I could sit here all night and come up with one thing, to be honest with you.
yeah, I don't think there's a single aspect that I'm like could really work on.
Mm-mm. No. You
I
guys
mean,
were absolutely amazing, more than we could ever expect.
Yay.
yeah.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Honestly, that's good because that means that I've done a good job. So I guess I shouldn't dig too hard, right?
And hundreds happen too.
Yeah,
Like,
I got 100. Oh, that's good.
oh,
I like A's. A's are cool.
there we go.
That's so fun. Well, thanks so much, you two, for just taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. And I know we've gone like 45 minutes. So I've gone a little over my 30 minutes. So thanks so much for the extra time. Um, yeah, really appreciate everything you said. And I can go ahead and let you guys go. And yeah, we'll be in touch. We'll definitely let you know if we ever do any like Tennessee get-togethers. And then at some point this fall, we'll definitely do like a coffee meetup. I'm trying to figure out our schedule because we have several things going on the next few weeks. Some traveling. We also we need to try to go to Vermont to see my family because we haven't gone to Vermont yet this year because I'm from Vermont. So we gotta go like have Tyler meet people up there before it gets crazy like fall season. So I don't know. We're trying to figure it out still. Anyways,
that's fine.
but yeah. So I hope you two have a wonderful evening and thanks so much again.
Of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
definitely do coffee or something when
Yeah.
we're all available. We were talking about like in Murfreesboro, we love Seven Brew. So we'd be
Oh,
happy to come do something like that or
Mhm.
oh, yes, I remember that you were talking about that. Where is that in Memphis? I've never heard of it, Seven Brew. Well, no, you told me about it, but I didn't. I could literally Google map it. Okay, it's fine. I'll just figure it out myself.
Go there every day.
yeah. He used to work in Murfreesboro, so he would get Seven Brew sometimes on the way home, but
Yeah. Cool, cool.
yeah.
Cool. Okie dokie. That sounds fun. All right, well, I'll let you guys go and yeah, we will plan something soon.
Sounds good.
Sounds
All
great.
right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.